I know they're watching. Do you? After Edward Snowden, that much became undeniable. But the scale, the depth, and the sheer legality of the surveillance apparatus built by U.S. intelligence agencies is so vast it's hard to comprehend. We're not talking about broad unconstitutional metadata collection. I'm talking about something far more targeted, more invasive, and more dangerous. I'm talking about programs with code names straight out of a spy thriller like Muscular, Mystic, and Bullrun. These are not conspiracy theories. These are programs confirmed by leaked documents, and they represent a direct, intentional, and illegal assault on the digital privacy of every single person on the planet, especially American citizens. First, let me name names, the entities involved in this digital conspiracy against the public read like a who's who of the U.S. security state. You got the NSA, National Security Agency, the architect, the digital spy agency with a budget so black even Congress can't see all of it. Then there's the Department of Homeland Security. While its role here is more peripheral as a consumer of data, its mandate creates the justification for this overreach, blurring the lines between foreign and domestic surveillance. You got GCHQ, the UK's government communications headquarters, a key partner used to circumvent US laws against spying on Americans. Lastly, you got private tech giants. This is the critical and often unwilling accomplice, companies like Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, Apple, and Facebook. Their infrastructure, the very data centers that hold our emails, our photos, our private lives, became the battlefield. This is the unholy alliance, the boundless ambition of the NSA, the legal authority of the DHS, and the global infrastructure of Silicon Valley. Let's break down each program and its sinister purpose. First, we got Muscular. This was the NSA's brazen illegal hack. We know from the Snowden leaks reported by the Washington Post that instead of just asking companies for data, the NSA and GCHQ secretly tapped the private fiber optic cables that connect the data centers of Google and Yahoo. Think about that. They didn't just knock on the front door. They picked the lock on the back door and vacuumed up everything inside: emails, documents, photos, search histories. This wasn't collecting metadata. This was the contents of your digital life scooped up in real time without a warrant, without a cause, and in direct violation of the Fourth Amendment. Second, you got Mystic. If Muscular was about your digital life, Mystic is about your voice. Mystic is the code name for the NSA's mass voice interception program. Its most terrifying component is called Somaget. This program doesn't just record metadata, who you called and when. It records the entire phone call, and it does this for entire countries. Every single word spoken in the conversation, captured and stored for years in a massive database. While initially targeted at foreign countries, the methods and technology are a clear and present danger to every American phone call. Third, you got Bullrun. This is perhaps the most insidious program of all. Bullrun is the NSA's multi-billion-dollar campaign to break, undermine, and sabotage the encryption that protects the entire internet. Their goal? To ensure that no communication is ever truly private. Leaked documents show they work with tech companies to insert backdoors into software. They compromise encryption standards, and they stole encryption keys. When you use a VPN, send an encrypted message on Signal, or make a secure financial transaction, you are trusting that encryption. The very agency tasked with protecting us was actively working to make that encryption worthless, making everyone, every business, every bank, every individual vulnerable to hackers and foreign spies just so they could listen in. So how do they get away with this? The legal justification is a twisted perversion of law. They use statutes like the FISA Amendment Act of 2008, specifically Section 702, which allows the targeting of foreigners overseas without a warrant. But in doing so, they inevitably sweep up millions of Americans' communications in what they call incidental collection. They then search this database for Americans' information in a practice called backdoor searches, completely circumventing the warrant requirement of the Fourth Amendment. Muscular was so illegal, they didn't even try to justify it with a secret court opinion. They just did it and hid it. Now, how does this link to the experiences of targeted individuals in gang stalking? This vast illegal surveillance apparatus provides the toolkit. If you are secretly placed on a watch list, you are no longer protected by the Constitution. The capabilities of Muscular, Mystic, and Bullrun can then be turned on you. Your emails, your cloud data, accessed via Muscular-like operations, your phone calls recorded and analyzed via Mystic-like technology, your encrypted messages rendered useless by Bullrun's backdoors. This isn't random harassment. It's the weaponization of the world's most powerful surveillance system against a single individual. The gang isn't just people on the street, it's a system of systems, a network of data flows, all orchestrated by an entity that has placed itself above the law. Muscular, Mystic, and Bullrun are not mistakes or overzealous programs. They are evidence of a fundamental truth. The core mission of the U.S. intelligence community has shifted from defending the Constitution to defeating it. They represent a systemic, institutionalized criminal enterprise operating under a cloak of secrecy. They prove that the capability for total information awareness exists. And as the saying goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. The question we have to ask ourselves is not if these tools are being abused, but how often and against whom. The war for privacy is not lost, but we are vastly outgunned. The first step to fighting back is knowing their playbook. And now you know. OBG do strong, fighting for the people.